Hello. I want to start a coffee business online and need your help. I will need a fully exhaustive list of all the steps and things I need to know and do to make this happen. All right. So, ChatGPT is going to launch my brand new coffee business. It's going to be an online coffee business. And I'm going to ask it everything from the list that it's about to give me, everything I need to know and do in order to make this happen. ChatGPT goes to work in a little less than a couple of seconds, will give me an entire list. And then I'm going to show you a little more detailed explanation on how you can launch a coffee business. If you don't know anything about coffee, you don't know anything about e-commerce, and you're trying to launch a online coffee business, this is going to be the video you want to watch from beginning to end. And you can even take notes of what I ask and what I prompt it to do in order for this to be effective and truly help you out. Okay. So right off the bat, it gives me everything: market research, a business plan and what it should entail. Now I'm going to go in more detail in a second. Legal structure and permits, covers branding, product selection, e-commerce platforms, knowing which e-commerce platform you should go on and what even is an e-commerce platform if you're all new to this. Website development, photography, descriptions, shipping and packaging, payment gateway. Wow, this is pretty. I wish I had. I wish I had ChatGPT 14 years ago to help me launch my e-commerce business because I didn't know anything about all this. Now I know all this stuff like the back of my hand, but it's good to know. And I'm trying to show you how ChatGPT can minimize the amount of time it takes for you to create any food business. So we're going to go at the top really quick here on the top. So market research. Again, if you're a newbie, you want to explain this in detail and simply copy and paste that to the box and hit go. And then let it do its thing. It's showing you the market research and what you should be doing in order to effectively create a market research analysis. Okay. So right off the bat, here it is. Market research is a crucial business starting a business such as this. You're going to identify your objectives, understand the coffee industry, target audience analysis, competitor analysis. So you want to identify your direct and indirect competitors. It gives you a brief but yet effective outline of each and every one of these topics. Okay. Pricing analysis, marketing trends, and so on. This is absolutely amazing. Before, this would take you months, or you would have to buy and pay somebody, a company, to actually do all this for you. Next up, great. A business plan. All right, so this is extremely important. Not only to get funding, but a business plan. Please explain in detail. There we go. And then copy and paste it. As you go through this, simply copy and paste each step, and it will break it down for you. This is amazing. And it's specific to coffee industry and the coffee business. Okay. So understand that as well. 9 different sections. Traditionally, actually, business plans in general will have the same gist of the outline, but the specifics inside of those outlines will be different. Obviously, executive summary is the same if you're starting a restaurant, a cafe, a coffee business, a food truck, whatever it may be. Okay. Then also comparing descriptions, comparing company descriptions. Sorry about that. Market analysis and product services, what you're going to have, what kind of coffee you're going to make, marketing, sales strategy. How are you going to market and what is your sales strategy for your coffee business? So it goes into detail here. Okay. So that is the business plan. So let's go back up here. Now, again, you can go through all of these here, and just for time's sake, I will go ahead and not elaborate on every single one of these aspects because you can take these prompts. Like I said, go to ChatGPT, create yourself your account. They're free, by the way. Get in there and then use the 3.5. There's a ChatGPT 3.5 version. I actually pay for the premium version, which gives me the access to ChatGPT 4, but you can still do this with 3.5. Now, all of this stuff is great information, but now let's take a look at some other things here. Great. Can you list 30 website domain, get this right, domain names? I got brand new glasses on today, guys. My apologies. I could Potentially. Now, let me explain use on my website. Now, let me explain something to you. This will actually go ahead and create a list of 30 website domain names that you could potentially use. Why I say potentially is that once this creates the list, you need to make sure that you go through either GoDaddy, Weebly.com, HostGator, any of those other websites. When you get the domain name, you want to make sure that it's not taken. Okay? So look at this 30 of them in a lot less than, I think, 2 seconds it took to do this. Dailygrindcoffee.com, Bean Connoisseur, Coffee Crafters. Now, some of these may potentially be taken, some of them may not be. So simply copy and paste that onto GoDaddy's web domain search to see if the name is available. So great. So this can brainstorm the coffee business name for you. Next up, I need a creative name for my coffee business. Can you, here we go. Can you list 40 names? And again, these are potential names. When you get your business filings and you get your LLC and you get your business license in your state, city, and county, and so on. Now, keep in mind that what you want to do is that you're going to actually make sure these names are in a name search within the state. Make sure that these names are not taken. Okay. Brew, Craze, Corner, etc. Now, keep in mind, Caffeine Cabana, that's kind of cool. If you take one of these, you can actually check it also to see if you can get the domain. Now, it obviously makes sense if you can to make the domain name for your coffee business specifically the same as your coffee brand of your business name. So if it happens to be Cup of Crafters, make me cupofcrafters.com. Check into that as well. But at least here, it's brainstorming for you over 40 different names that you can actually use. Okay. All right. So next up, what should my logo design include for my coffee brand? Now, really quick, if you want to get a logo designed for you, you can get this on Fiverr. I've actually used Fiverr before. I've used Fiverr, I think, about 2 or 3 dozen times now. But they've created a lot of different logos for me. I've always had a great experience. A couple of them haven't been very good. But at the end of the day, when you approach somebody on Fiverr, this is the information right here. That's the information that you want to relay to them, that you want to understand about your logo design for your coffee brand. Okay. All of these things, color scheme, typography is very important as well. The uniqueness, obviously, versatility. So, is it something that can be used on all of your coffee products? If you happen to create a huge line of coffees, can it be used on them? Sometimes certain logos don't really go really well with other products, even within your own product line. Consistency, scalability, even believe it or not, emotional appeal. There are logos, and logos that are more and most effective have an emotional ability to move you emotionally, either make you happy or make you question things or make you sad, whatever it may be. Next up, thanks. This is all great. I have another request. Okay. And of course, I'm still wearing my new glasses. Bingo. Okay. Another request. So, pricing. How do you determine pricing for coffee? So, again, if you're a newbie at the coffee business and coffee industry, what you want to keep in mind too is pricing. You have to understand that when you're selling a product online, there's a lot of other fees that come along with that. Not simply just selling this in bulk to a retailer and having the retailer resell the product, but when you're selling it online, you want to make sure that you understand all aspects of the pricing because that way, otherwise, you will end up underpricing your product. It won't be profitable enough and you'll be out of business. So let's see what it actually did, what it recommends for pricing. Here's a fantastic, this is why I love ChatGPT so much. I wish I had it again, like I said, 13, 14 years ago. I would have saved so much time and mistakes and such. Okay, so these are some aspects. There's 10 specific things you want to come into mind. Obviously, your cost of goods, okay, your COGS, as it's known. Your overhead costs come into play. Your desired profit margin. Is there a specific profit margin that you're actually anticipating or you're looking to have as well? Competitor analysis. Understanding what your competitors are charging also gives you a great way to understand pricing, value perception, and the market demand, and so on. Promotions, seasonal considerations, and price sensitivity. Now, price sensitivity is really unique because that is an aspect that sometimes your ingredients, the price of coffee, which is a commodity, will fluctuate. It will go up and down. That really does obviously affect your end price point, especially when you're selling online. Let's go to the next one now. Great. what about packaging? What would you recommend for packaging my coffee? And again, my apologies. I have new glasses on. There we go. No, packaging, not packaging. There it is. Okay, packaging my coffee. Fantastic. So let's scroll down and see what it has here. Now, this is aside from the idea of logo, this is aside from the idea of branding and such. This is really specifically the package itself. The bag. What type of bag? Resealable bag, non-resealable. Airtight, vacuum sealed, not vacuum sealed. It also will depend upon the type of coffee you have. If you have whole bean coffee, if you've got ground coffee, if you have espresso ground coffee, many of these will have certain types of bags that really are better for that type of a grind as opposed to the other. So airtight containers, even branded packaging, that would be designing the actual packaging. So your logo and your information is directly on the bag as opposed to a label. Informational labels, size options. You want to keep that in mind as well. When you're bulk packaging, maybe you're going to sell a 5, 10, or 20-pound bag. It doesn't matter, but you need to be aware of what type of packaging is out there based upon the size of your packaging as well. Great. This is a great start to my business. Thank you. But what else would you recommend for, my hand typed a few too many there. There we go. For me to know about coffee selling online. All right, so this is great because again, you're having a conversation with one of the most ingenious robots on the planet that knows a lot about everything, pretty much. So you want to ask it, hey, you know what? Is there anything else that you might want to throw at me that I could potentially learn or know or should know in order for this to work? So it pretty much recaps everything. Quality of the coffee. You want to emphasize customer experience. Product variety is important too. Can you launch a coffee business with just 1 or 2 bags or 1 types of coffee? You probably could. I don't recommend to the clients when I do my consulting that you start any type of food business with just 1 single product, but you can have a product and a variation of flavor profiles and such. That's always good too. Subscription model, shipping and delivering. These are some things. Social media presence. One other thing that comes to mind. Okay, so what platforms online would you say are the best and why? Of course, as an AI model, this is probably going to tell me I can't tell you what's the best, but I could recommend. There it is. So anyway, then here it goes. It goes all the way through all of the different varieties of e-commerce platforms that you can choose from. Social media, of course, Instagram, Facebook, selling on Etsy, Amazon Marketplace, Square Online Store. WooCommerce is a fantastic one with a WordPress plugin. Shopify, e-commerce websites that are self-hosted, and of course, BigCommerce. Okay, so all of these are fantastic. This will give you an understanding that explains briefly what they are and who they are. You can dig a little deeper and ask them more about it. So this is the gist of what you need to know in order to launch a coffee business and have ChatGPT do it for you. Literally, like 80% of your business is pretty much done right here through all of this information. So if this was helpful, guys, as always, do give me a big thumbs up. Thank you for all the super thanks. If this was truly helpful, anything that you donate, of course, helps keep our lights on and the studio up and running. So thank you for the super thanks if this was really helpful. And of course, share this with anybody that you know who might be opening a coffee business. I'll see you guys on our next video.
It's a coffee business. If you love your cup of joe in the morning, how about you make money selling it online? I'm going to give you the 10 steps to get your online coffee business up and running right now. All right, so let's get into these 10 steps. Now, keep in mind, every business will be a success or a failure depending upon your work ethic and your ability to put effort and energy into it. So in order to create a successful business, whether it's online or even in a brick and mortar location, it all depends on you. If you're willing to work and you're willing to learn and be open to new experience and take some risk, you can definitely be successful. So I want to give you 10 steps, 10 different things to take in and take a look at to get your coffee business up and running online. So let's jump right into it. So this is the first video, by the way. You haven't been here to Marketing Food Online before. Take take a hit of that subscribe button and definitely subscribe to our channel. We've got over 700 videos to show you how to get a variety of food businesses and food products and even food trucks up and running. And we put out videos every single week. So let's jump into this. So number one, above and beyond any of the videos I've always done, the first thing first is incorporate. Never do this as any type of food business. You really don't want to do it as a quote-unquote side hustle or just a hobby that you do on the side, and you don't want to do that when it comes to food business. You want to make sure you incorporate yourself and separate your business enterprises from your personal life, okay? And that really boils down for one main reason, and that's liability. You don't want to get caught having no license or no food insurance or no incorporation, because you personally could be held liable if somebody were to get sick or ill from a food product. So always incorporate yourself. I personally have always recommended, and this is just my 2 cents, is that you incorporate yourself as an LLC. It does limit the amount of liability that you have. And of course, LLCs are very popular, very simple, and easy to make business entity. So when you register as a business entity, you want to do it as an LLC. You can choose to do it any way you like. That's just my 2 cents. So once you've got yourself incorporated, second is get yourself the food business insurance. Okay, food business insurance, even if you're selling coffee and it's not really a food per se, but it is a coffee, it's a beverage product. It's something that you definitely need to keep yourself covered and protected from. Food business insurance, whether you potentially are maybe buying the beans in bulk and you're roasting them, maybe you're producing the product and creating it, or maybe you're just buying it as a co-packer or private label product and you just have your name on it, so you're not actually touching the product, you're not doing anything. You still need to have some type of food business insurance to protect your business, okay? So number one, get yourself incorporated. Number two, get yourself that insurance. Number three, register a domain, okay? A domain name, a website domain name. Now, when you're choosing a domain name, okay, and you can get those through GoDaddy, you can get them through Weebly, you can get them through Shopify, BigCommerce. When you register a domain name, make it short and sweet, okay? Something that's quick and easy to remember, but of course, don't make it something that's also very short and sweet, but hard to pronounce or hard to remember. It becomes a little tricky, but you can sit down and come up with a really good name, but you want to make sure it's catchy, simple, and not extremely long. Now, can I have an extremely long name for my website? Of course you can. The only drawback is that the shorter and sweet to the point that you are with your domain name, I've actually heard this that a lot of times when it comes to the SEO, in order for Google and anyone else to find it and put it into search, the shorter the bit is, the better off it is. The longer it is, it's really harder for them to be categorized and put into SEO and all that good stuff. So you really, really want to I don't want to get too much into SEO right now, of course, in this video, because I'm talking about coffee business, but make it short and sweet and to the point. So get your name registered and check out those sites like GoDaddy, BigCommerce, Shopify, or Weebly. Now, number four, then create your website. Now, you can simply do this yourself. And when I say simply, it actually is. Nowadays, it's much simpler than it was nearly 10 years ago. When I first started my business, there was not a lot of build-it-yourself websites like Shopify, BigCommerce, GoDaddy, Weebly. They make it very simple today to create your own website. You can literally, even if it was the first time you ever did it, the first time I created my website, I actually did all of the back end of it within, I think, about less than a week. I think it was just a couple days. And that was not knowing anything at all. So create a website. If you don't know how to, or you don't want to do that, that's fine. I actually added some links. There are some great website developers on Fiverr.com. And believe it or not, you can get someone to help you, walk you through it, or even create the website for you. I'll put a link down in the bottom. Look down below on this video in the description section. I'll put a link there for Fiverr, as well as Shopify and Weebly and these other do-it-yourself sites. So click on them, take a look at the websites, and see if it's something that you want to be doing. But it is it is very simple. Okay. So number four, you got your website, right? So you're good to go. Now let's move on to number five. Figure out what type of coffee you want to sell. What does that mean, Damien? Coffee is coffee. Well, no, not really. There are a ton of variations of coffees. You could sell it a whole bean where it's not ground, it's already pre-roasted. You could sell organic, fair trade, custom roasted. They even have raw beans, and you can even get private labeled. Yes. Believe it or not, there are co-packers and private label companies that you can actually get your own name put on already roasted coffee. And I'll put some more information about that actually down in the description too. So how does that work, David? Well, you want to start an online coffee business. Maybe you don't have the facility to roast it and label it and package it. You can actually get it done for you and simply either fill your inventory with it and sell it on, let's say, Amazon, eBay, or your own website. Or you can send it into a fulfillment center like Amazon FBA and have them fulfill the orders that you have on your website, that you sell on eBay, that you maybe even sell on Etsy. But anywhere that you do business online, you can have a fulfillment center ship the product to your customer for you. And I'm going to dive into a few other videos soon that I'm going to post about more specifically how that works. Next one is number 6, drop ship. You can actually find a wholesale online coffee business that can fulfill the orders for you. So you're not actually buying it. You don't even have to actually get it, to be honest with you, to get it shipped to you or even into an inventory or into some type of fulfillment center. You can drop ship coffee too. And that is having another website fill the order for you, and you make it up, you mark it up, and you make a little margin, you make a profit for yourself on every transaction. It's another great way. Number 7, you can open a store like I just briefly mentioned, Amazon and eBay. Great place to do it. And if you want to tap into Amazon FBA, that's fulfillment by Amazon, you can send your coffee product to them. They'll put it in a warehouse, and when you sell the product, they'll actually ship it to the customer for you and take care of everything for you. Now, they do that, of course, for a fee, but you can have a co-packer, private label company make it for you, send it into Amazon, and then basically you monitor the business just either weekly, maybe monthly, to make sure the inventory is there and you just replenish the inventory. So you're not really physically hands-on with the actual coffee bean itself, okay? Now, this one, number 8, is actually really, really cool. This would create a great cash flow, especially for a business just starting. And it is a subscription coffee bean business, or coffee business, not coffee bean, but subscription coffee business. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can, again, go back to what I was mentioning in number 4. Shopify, BigCommerce, or Weebly, these websites where you can develop your own website. You can create a subscription. You can add on the app, the additional add-on onto the site itself, where you can it's reoccurring payment. So every month, you can ship out a variety of coffee to your customer, and it becomes this constant cash flow, okay? And that's really big when you start off with a brand new business because a lot of businesses struggle with cash flow. So generating business through subscription is a no-brainer because every month you can send out a variety of, different flavors or different roasts or what have you, right? So every month the customer gets charged, but you've got that money coming in every month. And as you grow the business, you can scale it. You can grow that business by getting a co-packer or private label company to make the product for you. And again, take advantage of a fulfillment service, okay? So number 8 is the subscription business. Number 9, and actually maybe I should have probably put this in the beginning around number 4 or number 5, but that's okay. As long as it's in the top of these 10, you're good. You need to make sure you create a brand. You have to work on your branding, your logo. Make sure you have a really catchy, eye-catching, and very cool logo because that's part of your brand and that's part of the look and feel of what you're doing. When you begin to start a business and you want to develop a brand, you want to make sure you've got that certain look to it, that branding, that aspect that's really unique unto you. So make sure you have a logo. And again, you don't have a logo, don't worry about it. Look down below. I'm going to give you a link also to Fiverr.com. I actually have had, I think we've had 12 or 13 different designs for different stuff that we've done that I personally have actually bought on Fiverr.com, and they've worked out fantastic. So make sure you have a great logo and a really unique brand to your look. And that's also something you can give, by the way, to your co-packer or private label company to put on the product for you, okay? And many of them will do that, not a problem. And number 10, this is the no-brainer, and I know you're going to be like, duh, but just get started. Many people have tons of ideas, but ideas don't bring things to reality. You have to take action. You have to make some type of movement toward the goal. You physically have to make that effort, okay? Just get started. Now, you may not know all of these 10 things that I just talked to you about, and you may have to listen to this video a couple times, or you may have to ask a million questions. That is fine. But as long as you're taking action towards the goal, you're going to achieve it. Eventually, you'll get it. But for those people who sit back and think a lot, dream a lot, talk a lot, nothing will happen or transpire. So, number 10, get started. If you love coffee and that is your passion and you want to create an online coffee business, take these 10 steps and work with them and move forward and make it happen. If you guys have any more questions about starting your own coffee business or anything else, let me know down below, and I'll hop on those questions as soon as possible, and I'll see you guys on the next video. So if you're looking to start your own food business, check out these videos for more resources. Profitable food business ideas, how to start a food truck business, learn all about cottage food laws to create a home business for selling food, and how to start a catering business from home. These and many more small food business ideas are all at your fingertips when you subscribe.
How to sell coffee online and make money doing it. And how do I start my own coffee business? So these are two topics we're going to dive into in this video. I'm going to show you a multitude of ways that you can actually sell coffee online and package it and make money doing it. We're going to dive into those ways right now. All right, so welcome back to Marketing Food Online. It is Damian Roberti, founder and CEO of Marketing Food Online. And in this video, we are going to dive into a multitude of ways, actually 19 different ways to sell coffee. I did a video recently about how to sell tea in a multitude of ways. And I wanted to dive into this in question on our other Marketing Food Online channel, our second YouTube channel, about how to actually sell other than just simply on a single platform. So I thought I would dive into it and give you a variety of ways to sell coffee. So if this is your first video, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you can see all of our new videos as we upload them. If you are a food entrepreneur, this is definitely the channel for you to check out. All right, number one, we're going to dive into bulk beans, bulk coffee beans. So if you are looking to import coffee beans and you have them in the 50, 60, or 100-pound burlap bags, and you simply want to break them down and sell them in bulk, without either roasting them or doing anything to them, and basically put your own label on it, that is one way to actually sell them online. And you can do it in bulk in anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 5-pound bags. You can determine how and you want to actually package them, but buying them in bulk and simply repackaging them is one of the most simplistic and easiest ways to get your product into the marketplace. Now, of course, if you're importing them, make sure that you've got a reliable source for those beans. And if you're looking for anything from like organic, make sure that they are following FDA guidelines in regards to the processing of that organic product. You can't actually use the organic label unless your facility has been certified and signed off as an organic facility. So keep that in mind too. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about people who buy an organic product, maybe not necessarily coffee beans, but any type of organic product. They buy in bulk from a facility that has been registered and has the paperwork and everything registered with the FDA, and they have a third-party company that comes in and does a certification. So they buy it and then they repackage it and then they want to put the label on there. Well, technically, you need to actually have it certified by a third-party inspection facility. You can find those out actually through the FDA's website, and I'll put a link down below in the description for you to check that out too. But if you're going to repackage organic coffee beans, for instance, your facility here in the US needs to make sure that it's certified and signed off as organic. Number two, reselling brands. So you could actually buy coffee, believe it or not, online if you wanted to sell Folgers, Maxwell House, or even Starbucks, whatever it may be. You can buy that and you can resell it online. Now, of course, you need to make sure that if you're reselling, you have the proper certifications and permits and licenses in your city or county, wherever you're going to be operating from. Make sure that you check with them on what is going to be needed as far as that's concerned. Obviously, a business license, food business insurance. Even if you are reselling other people's brands, you want to make sure that you are insured, because at the end of the day, whatever center, distribution center, or whatever facility is handling, distributing, or even warehousing any type of food product that is for human consumption, it needs to be registered with the FDA, number one, but also there's a multitude of other permits and licenses that fall in line with reselling, even though you're not actually packaging or doing anything to the product. So keep that in mind too. Number three, so coffee bundles. I actually still have my tea sign up there. Okay, so coffee bundles, what does that mean? All right, let's say that you are reselling Starbucks coffee. The 1-pound bags and 12-ounce bags and some of those larger bags of Starbucks coffees you see kind of everywhere. A lot of seasonal coffee blends from Starbucks are highly prized. Like, there are people who pay a fortune during the holiday season for certain types of flavors and such that come out only a certain time of the year. Now, there's a lot of stores that overbuy them. I would recommend that you go to the store, you buy them, and you bring them to your facility or wherever it is that you're doing your logistics and such, but bundling them together. So instead of selling, let's say, one individual bag of like an eggnog infused or a holiday flavored Starbucks coffee, you bring together 2, 3, or even 4 bags of them and you bundle them. What that does is that increases the actual transaction price for that single transaction. You're going to make more money, but your customer's also going to get a value because they're going to see the value in the 3, 4, 5 bags instead of just one single bag. So bundling the product together is a win-win for everybody because the customer gets a variety of products or a multitude of the same flavor, and you make more money on the single transaction because you can be charging $50 or $60 or $70 if you've got 5 or 6 bags of a product, okay? Specifically coffee, of course. Number 4, bundling products related to coffee, actually. This is really interesting. If you actually are selling coffee online, there is a multitude of also other products such as mugs, hats, shirts, funny coffee sayings that are slogans that are on t-shirts or different types of merch. So if you have a website and you're selling coffee, if you're remaking coffee or if you're reselling coffee, buying in bulk, any of that, you've got a single product such as coffee, you can incorporate a lot of other products and bundle it with it. There's a lot of hats out there. There's a lot of cooking aprons. There's a lot of kitchen things. There's mugs. There's all kinds of different things that you can add together. By bundling together those types of products, almost like in a sense, kind of like a gift basket in a way, but bringing those other products together with your coffee brand or the blend of coffees that you're selling, you can increase your actual transaction amount. And a lot of this can actually be done also through affiliate marketing on Amazon, for instance. If you were selling coffee on your own website, you can incorporate a link for products that would take a customer over to Amazon and they could buy anything I just mentioned, mugs, hats, any types of other merchandise that's related to coffee, and Amazon ships that. You get a portion of it and get a percentage, but you don't have to actually ship or even have any of that in inventory. So it's a great way to make even more money from your website. Next up, number 5, subscriptions. Coffee subscription business. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. And there is a lot of people who are offering this online right now, but there's still a huge amount of opportunity online for coffee subscriptions or subscription businesses that offer coffee-related products. So how does that actually work, Damien? Well, you actually create a listing on your own store. Let's just use Shopify, for example. Shopify has several features that allow you to add them to your website, which creates a subscription transaction. That means that if I go to your website and I buy a 1 month at a time or 3 month or 6 month in advance subscription, I can pay it at checkout. And every month I get automatically billed, and it will bill out every single month and say, hey, Damien, you got to ship out another couple bags of coffee to John, to Susie, to whoever it is that's buying the product. But creating a subscription brand on your own website is a great idea. I actually use this, believe it or not, even on eBay and Etsy, where I actually create for our chocolate pretzels and some of our other cookies. I have a subscription preset. So you can buy 3 months at a time, 6 months, or even 12 months in advance. And I simply every month send it out to you. That does a couple of things. That creates great cash flow for your business, a constant stream of business every month, and you can bring in money through the subscription process. And you have a customer who's constantly coming back, and you never know. They could be telling their friends or family, hey, I got this coffee subscription. Every month they send me my coffee and it's delivered to my doorstep. A lot of websites and platforms already do this too, and Amazon's a real big one with that subscribe and save concept. Exactly what I was talking about. You subscribe, you get a little bit of a discount, but every month you're going to be billed out, and that creates for you, a small business, a steady stream of cash flow. So, subscription. Next up, curated brands. So, curated coffees. So, you would actually do this by bringing a multitude of different coffees together. As I mentioned before a little bit about the Starbucks and selling it in bundles, this is slightly different. If you have a variety of brands such, again, Maxwell House, Folgers, Starbucks, or even a store brand that somebody really truly likes, bringing together those 3 or 4 different types of coffees and then offering that as a curated package. So you would have a box full of a variety, or even sample packs of coffee, or even some that are those coffee creamer combinations. Any of those things can create a fantastic curated box of coffee. That's another way to sell coffee. All right, so number 7, now we're gonna start talking a little bit about the platforms. You can sell coffee, of course, on Amazon. And Amazon is hugely competitive with coffee. But there's always room for more, trust me, especially when it comes to food right now. Food is one of the fastest growing sectors of e-commerce, but there is so much opportunity out there. And as far as Amazon's concerned, you can bring your own coffee brand, private label your own, and bring it, sell it on Amazon. With nearly 100 million plus people a month, Amazon is a fantastic place to sell coffee. Number 8, okay, so as I just mentioned a little bit, private label your own. So if you are importing, let's say, raw coffee beans and you want to roast them yourself here, Maybe you're not wanting to package them. Maybe you're just simply wanting to roast them. You can get a co-packer to do that for you. There's actually even companies online right now who offer pre-made roasted, their own brands, but they put your label and your private label on that. And you can simply purchase that, bring it into your own warehouse, and handle the logistics and ship it out to all the different places that you're selling it. Or you can, if you have a contract with a retail store, you can get a co-packer to mass produce it for you and simply sell it and ship it over to the store itself. So private labeling is hugely popular in the food industry right now, especially with coffee and teas, actually. Number 9, eBay. eBay's been around for decades, as everybody knows, but is a great platform to sell coffee on. I actually read an article where a portion of the food that's sold on eBay, roughly 1.5% to almost 2%, is strictly just coffee in general. Any type of coffee that you're selling, 2% of sales through the food as a category on eBay is a gigantic amount of coffee. So if you're looking to sell on eBay, definitely try them out. It's another great platform to sell your product on, and they still have hundreds of millions of people who go to that website. Number 10, Etsy. Yes, believe it or not, Etsy is, I think, number 3 or 4, well below Walmart, Amazon, and eBay. But Etsy is catching a lot of ground. Over the last few years, there are more and more buyers than there have been years before. I've actually been on Etsy now for about 12 years, and we were on it when they just started. But they have gained a lot of traction and a lot more people and a lot more customers. So bringing your coffee brand not only on Amazon or eBay, but bringing it over to Etsy is another great place to be. And when you're on e-commerce, the one thing that's worked really well for us is being in more than one place at a time. Don't rely solely upon one platform or one area, because there's a lot of shoppers who enjoy Etsy who don't go to Amazon. And there's a lot of shoppers who go to Amazon that may not shop eBay. But if you can be in all those different places at the same time, it's going to be a much better business for you. Number 11, Shopify. So if you want to develop and create your own website, Shopify is one of the best places, especially if you're selling coffee, but you can sell your products on Shopify. We actually have a website, our marketingfoodonline.com website that I built out. I build out all of our websites ourselves, but the one I did on Shopify is one of the best that we have, because there's a lot of features, there's a lot of add-ons, a lot of apps that make the functionality of the website so much easier to work with. So Shopify is another platform to build your own website and then add on those other platforms such as eBay, Etsy, and Amazon. Number 12, food service. This is a huge, huge industry. So who is food service and what does that mean, Damien? Well, if you're roasting, again, let's go back to you creating your own brand. If you're roasting your own brand in bulk, if you're buying a brand from overseas and importing it and you're breaking it down into 5, 10, or 15 pound bags, you can actually get into the food service industry. Food service industry is a huge warehouse, and basically explain to you how it works, is a huge warehouse where they supply all the different types of hotels, universities, hospitals, anywhere and everywhere in bulk where they need food to be produced, and they have obviously cafeterias and kitchens. That's who food service is, and that's what they do. They bring that product to those different companies. It could be resorts, it could be different types of places all over the US or even the planet. Everywhere you go, there's food service that's bringing food ingredients to different kitchens all over the place. Big industry there. Number 13, LinkedIn. Now, this might sound a little odd, but believe it or not, we actually use LinkedIn for our candy and snack business by offering a variety of different posts on a daily basis, links back to our stores. So we actually leverage the amount of, we have a little bit over 9,000 food industry connections, from CEOs to executive chefs to people in the food industry, packaged food businesses, and so on and so on. So all of those eyeballs can actually see and even end up buying your coffee product. So if you're selling coffee online, creating a LinkedIn page dedicated to your coffee business that has nothing to do with your personal page, if you happen to have one on LinkedIn, but a business page dedicated to your coffee business is a huge way to get a lot more eyeballs. I heard there was registered users between 500 and 700 million worldwide on LinkedIn. Now, will you get your eyeballs or your product in front of all those eyeballs? Probably not, but I can tell you this, in the US, you could get probably a few 100,000 or even a couple million as you build up content and build up links, and that could be basically sales for your coffee business. So selling on LinkedIn, believe it or not, works very, very well. 14, of course, Facebook. You need to have a Facebook page for your coffee business. If you've got stores on Amazon, Etsy, and eBay, well, that doesn't magically make you have sales and doesn't convert people to buyers. You need to have some type of social media presence. And honestly, Facebook still is the platform to get a lot of eyeballs on your coffee product. So as you develop your page out and you create content and you add more links and you add backlinks and stuff to your stores, you can also run Facebook ads, very simple ads to get more eyes on your product and then turn them into converting buying customers. So Facebook is another place you could sell coffee. Number 15, my second most favorite place is Twitter. Twitter has actually been a fantastic social media platform for our business, and it can be converted into anything, such as even selling coffee. It's the type of hashtags you use and the frequency and consistency of posting your products on Twitter that will reap you a lot of benefits. I love Twitter so much because of the fact that every single link is clickable and can bring someone right back to your store on Amazon, bring someone right back to your store on eBay. You got your Shopify store, you can intertwine those two together with Twitter, and you can be posting on Twitter consistently and drive traffic to your Shopify store. So Twitter is another platform where you can actually reach out to people with your coffee business. Next up, cottage home food business. So this one is really interesting, number 16. If you're starting at home, the majority of states in the US actually allow coffee-related products to be made at home and sold locally. You can't really sell it online over state lines. Some states do allow you to sell online within the state, but to be honest with you, that's really hard to kind of judge whether or not somebody's buying from another state. If they go to your website and they're not in your state, you'd have to cancel the order. It becomes very confusing. But you can actually begin at least a coffee business at home. Now, most of the cottage food laws within the states won't allow you to make coffee actually in a cup and serve it, because that's actually food service, and that's normally not allowed. But roasting and making and blending coffee means almost every single state allows that. But you can be at farmers market, local fairs, festivals, different events, even events locally that are about coffee. If you've got a jazz festival or some music festivals, you can set up a booth and sell your own coffee. Now, you can't necessarily brew it or make it there, because then you need additional permits and licenses, and that's a whole totally different process. But you can start a coffee business in almost every state at home. Next up, you can actually fill with no stock. This is actually flipping products. Number 17 is really a challenge to do, but it's doable. Now, I've actually noticed a lot of people on eBay who do this. Now, how does this work? So if you were to source your coffee from Walmart, and they have a huge variety of coffee. Nowadays, they've actually, the coffee aisle is gigantic. If you have coffee from Walmart or Publix or even Kroger, if you can source it from grocery stores, a lot of people are flipping them on eBay. You mark it up a little bit of a percentage, you make a little bit of money on each one, but the thing you might be thinking is, well, Damien, doesn't everybody have a Walmart near them? Can't they buy their own? Actually, no. A Walmart is located in a lot of different places. The Kroger's, grocery stores, there's a lot of grocery stores in areas, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to carry the same inventory or the same flavored coffees. If I was trying to find a coffee and I couldn't get it here locally, I'd go online. And if there's somebody on eBay that's selling it, as a matter of fact, there is a coffee that we buy from somebody down in Miami, Celia Rojo, which is a certain type of coffee. It's a Colombian coffee that my wife and I like to drink, but we don't have it here. I don't have it at any of the stores here. So I actually pay premium. I actually pay a little bit more than I should for it. But the point of telling you this is that everybody likes a certain type of coffee, and they'll go online if they can't find it locally. And you could be the one who could fill that order simply by flipping it. So this concept is, you don't buy it, you don't have it. Once you get the order, you go to the store, you buy it, and that way you don't have to invest in inventory. It's a little tricky to do this because you can't technically do it from home, and keeping an inventory is something that is a challenge for the store. So if the store is out of it, you may run into a problem as far as sourcing. Next up, number 18, create a coffee comparison website. So this is actually really an interesting concept. This is based on the affiliate marketing idea. You can actually tap into Amazon's huge inventory, create a website where you quote unquote compare the different qualities of coffees. So you could create a blog, or you could create some type of content on your website, or even videos on YouTube. Compare the coffees, and then you add a link. That link is for the people to buy the coffee on Amazon, and you get a cut, you get a percentage of it. So it's almost like affiliate marketing for your coffee business. You have no inventory. You actually do run a business because you will be making money from it because you get commissions. But you create a website so you don't have any inventory. You're simply referring people to Amazon so they would buy coffee. Lastly, number 19, this one is YouTube. So kind of like what I had just mentioned a little bit about in number 18, YouTube is a great place to make video comparisons, or if you're making videos about qualities or where coffee comes from, and then below the video in the description section, you have a bunch of affiliate links. Affiliate links that are dedicated to the coffee that you're talking about in the video. So you cover a topic in your video discussing coffee, maybe your own picks. Maybe you buy 3 or 4 and you taste test them and you give your opinion about it. But then below the video, you can make money off of Amazon because of the fact that you add your affiliate links to the coffee. As the coffee sells and they ship it, you actually make money. You get a portion of that. So, and remember, every single time you create a video on YouTube, as long as you're within the rules, it stays up forever. So it could be making you money 20 years from now, people still looking at the video and buying coffee from those links. It's a great stream of revenue. It's another way to sell coffee. So this is a variety of brainstormed ideas for how to sell coffee online and get a coffee business up and running. So